All right, guys. Okay, based on our main objective of these particular kind of illustrations there, right? Okay, that we did for these first projects here, right? Okay. So I want you guys to realize one thing. All right. Our main objective of our purpose of developing this exercise were based from developing your skills deficit. Okay, developing your skills deficit. This is one of the main major exercise that we did basically, okay, for the last 2 or 3 weeks there, okay, traditionally, but you guys can apply back again in your illustrations methods there, okay, techniques and styles there of drawings in order to develop your projects right here. Okay, for those who have the weakness in drawing skills here, one of the reason I gave this exercise because this kind of drawings methods and this kind of what we call the techniques there, okay, draw on top of the layers there, okay. One of the reason is because most of the students who came over here were not being develop the skills in the right way, that is, okay, especially right, they don't have that kind of skills there to draw. So a part of those skills that, okay, you won't be able to have that kind of understanding to develop the right kind of movements on developing your kind of drawing skills, the movements there, how to improve the movements there, okay, how to improve basically those kind of understanding there, okay, to use the tools there, to move the tools according to the right kind of strokes there, okay, is by using the contour line drawing exercise that is. Okay, and we're not actually just simply tracing these subject matters there. We draw on top of it back again, not drawing an outline that, but we actually develop the contour line, develop the form and the structures of these illustrations there. Can you see there, right? I'm controlling my line there, okay, from here. I draw some etchings a little bit. Okay. Even though with the actual kind of exercise or illustration that we did later on, we don't need basically to draw the whole kind of details if you seems that want to avoid some of the major details there, okay? But this is basically a type of exercise that you guys can begin with in order for you to develop your understanding how to use the tools. See that? How I actually control the lines over here. So this kind of exercise that when we did basically traditionally there, okay, it's really hard for some of the student who doesn't have that kind of package of skills here. Because why? Because you have to draw the whole thing from scratch there, okay? Basically, you don't have that kind of privilege to draw on top of the layers there. By right, you have to use your observation skills to develop all these exercise back again. Okay, without some of people say tracing there, okay? But we're not purely tracing them, but we try to improve basically our movements of skills when we draw them. That's why when you start to draw those hairlines, okay, some of the hairline and strokes, okay, you won't be able to get it right, okay? Some of people, they doesn't know how to use this kind of methods there to draw those hairline and strokes, especially when you have this kind of curly kind of shapes over here like this one, right? You don't know how to start, okay? So for me, I can actually use this kind of rendering and etching kind of styles there to work on that. But I let loose a little bit more further on my strokes at the same time there. Not press too much there. Some people press like this one, okay? Or they press like this one there, okay? And they draw like this one there, right? Not the right thing there to draw there, right? Like this one. Draw the circles Okay. Practice your line work really well, Stephis, and control the pressure at the same time. Okay. The thing is, right now, when you don't develop the right kind of methods that to move your hands, how actually you going to draw them? How actually you going to imagine them, right? So take a look there, guys. I start to draw with those kind of basic constructive line. Now, I'm beginning to draw them back again using those. Using basically those contour line drawing back again, right? See how actually I form them back. That's basically the beauty, the power of those contour line drawing exercise over here. Comparing to what you try to draw with what I've produced right now, you can see which one is better there. Okay, from your drawings here. I'm not saying that I just want to brag about it, but no, okay, I want to show you guys basically the power of developing the skill from the method that I actually show you guys here. This is not basically from my styles of drawings there, guys. You guys can see from behind there already, I have different kind of styles that I produced for so many years there. Okay, I didn't actually write. This is only a few number of my illustrations work that I did for almost 30 years there, right? Okay. And right now I develop it more further on more simplified kind of design like this. Cartoon style for animated there, right? So don't judge me basically, okay, when I actually produce something there, okay, for you guys, this is basically my style. This is not my style of drawing there. But yes, I learned this stuff from my lecturers there, okay, from my gurus there, okay, to develop basically my skills. See? To develop basically my skills over here. We are not tracing them only there, guys. We learn to develop our understanding by, just like I said just now, okay, you don't need to, my voice, my explanations to learn them. But you need to watch carefully when you draw, when you learn here. You need to watch carefully here, guys. What is it there? Yeah, see? The movements of the flows there, right? The movements of the flows. So right now, okay, no measurement there, okay, but I'm using my eyes to draw them back. See? Same thing that basically that you experience, but you see there, right? Contour line drawings exercise. Contour line drawings techniques over here to produce the same kind of reference there. It's all about to practice your hands to draw in the right way there. Yeah. What is it? Wei Hong, do you have anything to ask me there? Wei Hong?
Nothing.
Nothing, sure? What do you do just now there, right? You talk to yourself?
No.
No, huh?
Normally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, okay, take a look that back again, okay? Those demonstrations that I just did just now there, right? Okay? The understanding how to develop that kind of skills there first. Improve your drawing skill there first before basically you develop another kind of styles of drawings there. Learn to develop the skill of observations there, right? Even though some of their proportion is not that right there, okay, I know basically how to correct them back. Why? Because of the limitation of time sometimes that we have. But you have that kind of privilege to draw back again on top of the layers there. Not by tracing there, but studying the structures back again and improve your skills at the same times. After you get that kind of that kind of right techniques there again, then move on into another phase. Okay, if you want to apply with these assignments, go ahead. Okay, but if you don't want to, it's okay, because my first demonstration that I did, am I actually use a lot of imaginations? Am I actually use a lot of imagination with these drawings here? Answer the question yes or no. Do you have you seen any imaginations drawings from this design, okay, from this drawings there? Am I actually design new characters that beyond basically the reference? Answer yes or no. No there, right? But what are the elements of imaginations that I create from here? What are the elements of imaginations that I create not from reference? That I actually try to add a little bit more imaginative kind of elements there. What is it? Can you guys see? What kind of imaginative kind of elements that I create? Look carefully there, guys. You don't need to have those kind of superpowers kind of visions there to analyze them. What are the elements of imaginations that I create from here that I try to improvise based on the actual reference? What is it? Can you guys see there? There's three different elements there. 4 different elements there, right? That I actually try to made up there, okay? As a part of imaginative kind of elements that represent these reference become another characters there. Right? What is it? What is it, guys? Can you guys recognize them? You guys have the same reference there, right? What is it? Can you see them there, guys? Yes or no?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it there, right? Right. What is it there? Write down there, okay? What is it there? Write down there, okay? What are the elements that I use there? Tattoos on eyes, bracelet, scar face, yeah. Emotions, a bit lah, right there. I'm using the same emotions there. The germs from the forehead, good. The fingers, that nail there, right? Claw there, right? Okay. Yes. So I didn't actually put a lot of efforts to change those characters there. Why? One of the reason is my focus is to improve, to develop my understanding of drawings and illustration skills there first. I don't want to have a lot of responsibility to change because of our limitation of times. And of course, I know your limitation of skills that you have. So learn fundamentally to develop your drawing skills and illustration skills there first. Then you can actually add a bit more further on your design. Later on, don't worry, it's there. Okay, those are the things there, right? Okay, to control basically the shadows there, right? Okay, one of the methods that I use, you guys can check also from my reference from my demonstrations also at the same time there, right? Okay, all these 3, and later on I'm going to outline another 2 there, right? So first of all, I'm using the sphere kind of elliptical mark tool there, right? Okay, and how actually I'm going to get a perfect circle like this by clicking shift. Okay, where is it? Where basically my visual keyboard there, right? Okay. When I want him there, okay, it's not appear there, okay, it's okay there, right? So guys, okay, so click shift, okay, on your keyboard, okay, you can what we call that normally, right? You can get okay, click shift, okay, you can actually get the perfect kind of circles there, okay. So now I'm going to add base colors from there. Base colors, okay, from grayscale tone. Maybe I'm going to change a bit on the hue, saturation, brightness, alternate backspace like this. And I'm going to change the opacity, the the levels of those tone from here. Okay, soft brushes, normally I'm going to use these soft round brushes. You can use also soft round brush opacity. You can experiment with these brushes, right? See the difference lah. Okay, see the difference there. Don't just use whatever that I show you guys, but don't experiment with other brushes, okay? But the methods have to be right lah. Okay, what are the methods there? So you have to check, look, okay, which basically the what we call that, those highlight source of light came from. The source of light from these pictures there, from this reference, came from this bottom right. The shadow fall off to the top there, okay? So what I can do, so when I paint the right, okay, it's just the flows there first, okay, around 14, 10, right? And then I can change the size according to the flows of this sphere there, right? Okay, that's how it goes. Take a look here. So right now, change the size and tone a little bit. This part a bit more darker there, right? So I'm going to change that. So when I paint, I'm not paint like this, okay? Use the flows of the sphere there, okay? Curve line there, okay? The curve directions there, okay? To paint there, okay? But I don't paint too much there because why? I'm going to leave some of the areas over here, side over here. There's a reflection slide. Okay, this one, okay, has a reflection right, okay? And when I actually paint, I made a soft kind of flows right here. It works on that. And then the highlight itself, see the highlights there? Not too much. You can add more highlights to this side over here. See this side there, right? This side basically there, okay? We kind of highlight there, okay, but not too much there. Okay. Can you see those three-dimensional kind of looks that actually try to develop from this, what we call that sphere? Okay. Change the size to add a bit kind of details there from this part there, right? So it goes. Study basically the tone and shadows at the same time. Basically, a simple kind of task that, but you need to control the flows and also your hands at the same time. Right? That's one thing there. Draw the hairlines. Take a look back again. There's my demonstrations that I did basically there, right? If I want to draw lasso tools over here, okay, let's just say this part basically, I'll have to make sure that the feather are going to be 0%. Then I'm going to click to the shadow. So do some selections over here. You guys can use also that direct selection tools there. I think one of the tools that we have here, the new tools that we have, were basically, I didn't actually do a lot of detailing there, right, guys? You see? I didn't bother all this kind of detailing yet. You can use magic wand quick selection tools if you want to here. Okay, like this one there, right? But I rarely use them, okay? Except some of the occasions sometimes, okay? But I'm using this lasso tool so I can control a bit more further from there. Oops. Selections a bit. Click shift if you want to do some selections with different areas there, right? Okay. Yeah, click shift there, right? Yeah. So right now, if I want to pin it up there, okay, using what kind of colors there, okay, I'm going to do the same kind of tone from this side. But right now, see there, okay? I don't want to paint this area because they're going to cover basically the shadows over here, right? But I can actually use them if I want to. Okay? But I can paint slowly. How to paint slowly? Add those tone a bit. Then I can actually adjust the size. Then I paint it, right? Okay? Adjust the size. Paint it, right? Adjust the size there, right? Huh? If you basically develop, okay, the shadows basically came to this side there, right? This side should be a bit more darker there. I guess I paint a bit more like this one there, right? I think, okay, those complicated kind of elements that we saw from here, a bit kind of what we call that confusing there sometimes. So this part basically should have those kind of the rest of those, what we call that, the dress that she wearing here. Oops, sorry, I have to do some selections back again, this part. Click shift. Okay. And of course, this part also, I have to select, right, the shoulder pad there, right? And then I paint it, right? But I don't paint everything too dark there, okay? Because there's a different kind of tone that we saw from here. Right now, I change the size and paint over here. That's why I say, guys, okay, don't just simply want to draw other people's characters or different characters that if you don't study carefully your subject matters right here. First. Okay, the first thing there, okay, I didn't actually draw the whole thing, every single details, but I tried to improve a little bit more further on my understanding to develop those kind of drawings from here slowly there. So in illustrations, we can actually improvise something from here. It doesn't have to be draw the whole thing in detail all the time there, right? Okay. But the line works that I produce will define what type of detail that we want to produce for the final illustrations over here. So I'm going to add some shadows right here because the shadow going to be fall off right here. So the hair there, right? Okay. So if I were to add some shadows, some shape, some highlights, right? But also has a highlight a bit, right? So you have to be careful there when you want to paint. Don't just simply want to design different characters that if you don't understand enough how to develop those kind of details there. I actually told your friend from other group just now, okay? This kind of assignment is not all about short scenery there, okay? So short only to draw those characters there, right? You must be able to know your main objective here. You want to develop your skills. If you try to draw that kind of short character but doesn't have benefit, you don't learn nothing from there. Your design drawing look worse. What's the point that you design different characters there, right? What's the point of it? Nothing there. So right now, what I do basically, I didn't draw different characters based on the reference, but I try to develop a few number kind of elements that can define other kind of characters there. You understand what I mean? Do you guys understand or not? That right? So I didn't actually try hard enough to design those fancy characters because the reference that I give you guys is basically a good enough there for you guys to study them. But the challenge is how you define yourself back again using your skill that you develop from here. That's basically the challenge here right now. So if I want to make some deselections, Control D, the deselections over there. I think this kind of gray tone basically, right, really basically mess it up my kind of focus there. So what I can do, Can delete this part there first. All right. My working area sometimes look messy there, guys. Huh? Right. So delete this part there, right? Because my kind of way, sometimes I didn't play by the rules all the time there, okay? Those are the things. I know the bad things about me that I didn't actually define myself. I didn't actually follow some of the rules there, okay? Like Bible tutorials there, okay? I didn't actually follow much from there. I kind of basically using the tool based on the experience there, based on the technical experience that I've learned for so many years, and I can try to compile back into you guys directly. So that's why I didn't actually follow books directly to finance right. I will give you guys some examples there, what kind of tool that you guys can use to develop that kind of understanding from here. So Lasso tool can be used a lot to select the areas that you want, basically to control basically the area that you want to paint directly. But if you have the strong kind of understanding to control your pressure line like this one, guys, okay, control the right, okay, because I adjust the flows to 10% and the colors of those shadings for the base colors for the shadows, right? Okay, basically I'm not actually do a very high kind of tones, dark kind of tone, but very light kind of tones over here. So right now, see the flows of the shadows there. So the shadows are going to be paint over here there, right? Okay, slowly paint it, right? I cover the core shadows just like we draw the horses there, right? But I try to make slowly there, okay? Slow kind of movements for the shadows there first. Don't rush too much there, okay? This part will also can have some shadows. Okay. And this part a little bit has the shadows, and this part also has the shadows bit there. So they can mix up all together to these areas here. Even though I cannot see from there, I can actually imagine the shapes of the shadows there. Yeah. When you close the pictures, you guys can see there, okay? The shadows that form from this part there, right? Huh? So this is basically okay. Slowly learn the process of creating the shadows and shades. But the core kind of what we call that strong kind of element that you basically bring from this one doesn't have any shadows lah because I didn't actually draw basically those tail kind of cloth there right from there, right? So you didn't have to draw those shadows from there. Okay, maybe you can leave a little bit more on the form of those muscles at the same time. Okay, so from here you can slowly add some tone, more darker kind of tone. Okay, change the size a little bit, add a little bit kind of details there. Looking at the reference back again, this part basically has a detailing some tone, a bit right here, and also here there, okay? The belly there, right? And slowly paint it up. See? That can form basically the shadows slowly from there. You don't actually press a lot too much, okay? Because some people, okay, I saw some of your friends actually, right? Okay, they send it over those reference, those kind of manga kind of styles of drawings that they try to paint there, okay? They paint too much kind of shadows there. They don't actually paint slowly and get the shadows directly from there. So what I can do right here, from this reference, right? This part has a shadows line over here because of the hair there, right? But slowly paint it, right? So this part of the hands, okay, this bracelet, right? I can use different colors if I want to. Okay, the shadows line. And of course, okay, this part basically has a, yeah, this is basically the shadows going to fall off over here a bit. Look carefully to your reference there all the times you draw them. Right, those are the things there. Okay, and you actually can add more and more there, okay, from here. Maybe the bracelets over here, okay, there's a tone of those areas there. this part basically, okay, maybe the spike over here. I want to make a little bit more shiny kind of looks of this bracelet. That's how it goes. More darker kind of tone, but not too much. Before we're going to add a bit more detailings later on. Huh? But that's how it goes here. So if you can get this particular kind of what we call that methods all together, then you actually in the right path there, okay, to control your pressure point strokes at the same time. Okay, this one basically you guys can use. Okay, you can try to use these quick selection tools. Or this one using the drawing itself there. They try to. It doesn't work right here. What I can do, right? Quick selection tools not working, so I'm going to work with those lasso tools here. So I have a bit more control on my selections over here. For me, though, okay, my kind of what we call that way of presenting basically to produce my illustrations, I'm not actually focused a lot of technical stuff there, okay? So I'm using the standard kind of tools that you work with it. At the same time, okay, using those kind of brushes, right? Soft brushes over here. When we do selections, okay, easy for us to paint it up, right? So using basically some tone from the shadows, and we actually can slowly paint basically that kind of areas that is okay, not too much over here. So what I can do right here, do some selections there, okay? From here, using those lasso tools, I click to the lasso tools there. I'm going to click some alternate, right? To deselect some of the areas over here. Some of the areas over here I'm going to deselect, right? See? Some of the areas here also I try to deselect, right? And of course, this area also I can try to deselect, right? Yeah. So what I can do from here, guys, okay, when I actually have to select some of the areas over here, I can actually copy and paste, see? Copy and paste based on the colors from the shadows there, right? So I can get that kind of crumpled kind of effect from it, all right? But this is not the only way you guys can use there, okay? You guys can use erasers to blend it up there, right? Okay? Blend it up a little bit, but soft kind of flows there, right? To work with it. You guys can use blur kind of tools later on and also to work there, see? And of course, from here, when I actually create those shadows line, I can actually still use brushes, flows that I have, to paint back again. Some of the areas that I want to control a bit more further on the shadings there, right? Okay, that's it, guys. But I didn't actually try hard enough to draw as realistic that I want. But it still look fit to those kind of presentations. And that's basically one of the most important. I didn't paint too much kind of tone there, okay, to make that kind of reference, okay. The samples looks a bit kind of out from those shadings there, okay. They cannot create those form itself, okay. Now I'm using highlight to paint some of the areas over here, see. Okay. Control the pressures at the same time when you paint it, right. Adjust the size at the same time here. Okay, that's how it's it. That's how actually we can actually apply, okay, some of the methods, okay, to add some shadings there. Yeah. This part basically, I'm going to add a bit kind of shadows before. There. Okay. There, right. So another kind of tones over there. So that's how actually you can apply from there. Okay. Same goes that I did basically for this reference that I did this from this illustration that I did before. Right. Okay, where is it? Okay, when I actually paint this kind of pants, which is I actually have record the sessions before that, right? All right, to paint those kind of pants, same kind of methods that I use there to work on that. Okay. Hi guys. Anyone want to share screen? Okay, you guys can share screen. I want to see how actually you start to work, okay, with your kind of drawings before you're going to add some shadings there. Anyone want to share screens over here? Start to work on that.
I can see.
All right, Kenrin.
So this is okay. I know using the reference, but I have seen the reference, but I know using the
What are you
reference to
trying to
make the
do
line.
here, okay, Kenrin? First,
I try to make myself the body. Improve my drawing the body.
okay. Okay, before you
I
go to
I
improve your body over here, okay, I get it, right? I get it how actually you go work on that. But the thing is, when I improve your line works at the same time, right? Okay,
okay.
your strokes there, okay. Can you actually draw the contour line based on the reference for these illustrations here first? I want to see how you actually work on that.
So I
Because
can use this
because
and
your line works here, Tianwen, right? It's not right. Okay, it's very full of hesitations there.
okay.
Okay.
Then I can use this body. I add on the elements.
What kind of element that you want to create?
Uh,
Why don't you actually
maybe
draw? Why don't you actually draw back again the whole things based on the reference?
or using the reference.
Yeah, because your drawing
Okay,
is not right yet.
okay,
Mm. Don't waste your time to draw something that you hardly to understand there, okay?
okay,
On imagination itself there, okay? Rather than you try to imagine self things there, okay? Why don't you draw back again? Improve your drawing skill first. To draw based on the reference over here.
okay. Thank you,
Mm.
sir.
Okay? Understand that, right?
Understand.
Okay. Because your drawing has a lot of hesitations from there. The proportion also doesn't look right. I think the basic structures that you try to draw right here for the last week kind of exercise more better than your drawing just now there, right? Your drawing just now basically, right, okay, they look quite awkward because why? Because the strokes were not right. Because you hesitate while you draw them. A lot of dirty kind of line from there.
More
Right.
clear
Close
the
this
line.
picture there, okay? Close the pictures there first. Close the pictures there, right? Close the
Of course, I
pictures.
appreciate. Okay,
All right, see? So some of the line looks look okay there, right? Okay? Why don't you maintain them first and redraw them back and paint according to those things that you learn from here. Okay?
I use the new layer to redo again.
A new layer to redraw, to refine your line there, right? Okay?
Okay,
This one basically I saw that you learned something, okay? Just now when you show me basically the naked kind of shapes, okay, of this reference, I don't think that you learned something from there. What do you learn from there? Because the way that you draw the leg also look incorrectly, right? It's not correct. But this one a bit more better lah. I can see that you study a bit more further on the basic structures there first, and you try to improve more on your line work from there. But the one that you draw just now, why? You love to draw naked people, is it? You try to draw the naked people or the what we call that the anatomies there. If you want to learn about anatomies there, okay, the best way, Tianren, try to find a reference that have a naked reference there, okay? Then you draw back again from there. Then you can learn basically how to draw correctly rather than you imagine there, right? Okay, I want to show you guys this one there, okay? Because I want you guys to be realistic with your project. Be realistic with your project, okay? You must be able to understand basically your level of skills there, okay?
Okay.
I'm not saying that you cannot imagine that, okay? You can imagine that, okay? But the problem is right now, are your imaginations is good enough for you to develop that kind of drawings? If you can't, okay, this is what I can actually suggest, okay? Human naked, okay? Anatomies, poses there. Okay, this is not basically a porn site there, guys, okay? But this is basically some reference that you guys can use. Okay, you want to draw anatomies, draw in the right way. For example, like this one, okay? Don't bother to draw this kind of boo-boo over here, okay? But take a look carefully there, guys, okay? You want to learn, study, what we call that, what we call the anatomies in the right way. For example, because we don't go into that kind of stage yet. Because the stage that we have to cover right now is all about your drawing skill. Because your drawing skill looks bad there right now, some of you guys there. That's why you have to be more realistic with your things that you want to do here right now, okay? This is anatomy there, okay? One. You have to be realistic there, okay? So right here, I have the reference over here. What else there that I actually can use them, okay? This is not a porn site there, guys, okay? Don't get me wrong there, okay? Don't let me wrong there, okay? You want to study human anatomies? Yes, of course, you have to draw from this reference over here, all right? But of course, some people basically feel, okay, this is a little bit more like a porn, but no, there, okay? See how actually people draw and study the human structures there, right? In the right way there, okay? Before you get to draw in the right way, you must be able to draw anatomies like this one, okay? And the strokes has to be right there. Tianren, your drawings are not right from there. That's why I forbidden you to draw that kind of thing there, okay? But what you show basically after that, based on the structures, will be more better than the one that you produced just now.
Okay, sir.
Understand that, right?
Understand.
See how actually the people draw those kind of anatomies right here. So what you can do there, right? Okay? All these reference that you have. Okay, I have this kind of reference with me. You guys can see my screen sharing there, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what I can do right here, okay, I go into grayscale back again. Okay, reduce the opacities over here. You want to study properly, try to study properly over here, okay? Because otherwise you won't be able to imagine right. So right now you guys can see here, if I want to study those kind of shadings, based on the, what we call that, sorry there guys, based from the shadows, etc. Okay, this is also one of the methods you guys can practice there, okay? Take a look here there, guys. Study shadings there, right? But using gestures kind of shading styles that works. Technologies nowadays will give you a lot of benefit there, guys. My kind of time, I don't have this kind of privilege. That's why I'm using technologies right now to basically, okay, we can actually draw this one a little bit, right? Okay? But not to emphasize that, right? Okay? Because we don't want to study that boo-boo there, okay? Remember that. What we want to study right here is basically some anatomies there. So you guys can be surprised, okay? See how actually I study the shadows, adjust the size at the same times, works on that. The flows that I'm using, I change a bit there. Because if you don't actually study if you don't actually develop your observations in the right way here, everything that you want to do, manga, whatever that you want to draw that you like that, okay, will not going to be useful because you don't learn something that you just short sendiri to draw there. Okay, remember that. Okay, we don't actually try to short sendiri. We have to be a bit kind of like what we call that optimist with what we want, but you must be able to understand why you should draw that, right? Okay, not because you like it, okay, but they give you more kind of benefits to develop kind of understanding from here. So even though, okay, I zoom in a little bit, I want to focus on some of the details over here. See, without drawing the guys, okay, right now I try not to draw, but I paint there, okay, using shadows there. Okay, using shadows there, right? Okay, I paint using shadows there. Now the hair there, okay, look messy there, right? What I can do, I'm using shadows there to paint. So focus on the shadows line there, right? See? Using soft brushes, I didn't use pencil brushes right here. But this one is not a part of your assignments, but I just want to show you guys, but you guys maybe can practice later on your own, all right? Before we're going to go into this exercise for next week. So hopefully with the basic structures there, because I saw this week there, okay, a lot of people still need to improve their drawing skills there. When Tianren actually just what we call that, show me basically some of his efforts, good effort there, Tianren. I'm not saying it's not good, okay, good effort there, but the method is wrong there. That's why I need you guys feedback there, okay? What you want basically to learn, and of course, okay, some of the things that you want to improvise from there to develop a kind of understanding at the same time, there, guys, okay? So right now, I didn't draw basically this part over here yet. Shadows line from here. Maybe okay, part of it. So right now, if you check it, guys, okay, I'm studying the shadows there. See? Studying the shadows there. Using basically soft brushes that works. You guys see there, okay? So from here, if I want to add those kind of details, all right, details there, okay, study those details there. Right? Other than I'm using basically, okay, basically the basic structures back again to draw those circles, line over here. Okay, the size is too big there, right? Okay. This basically his ears there, right? Here. These are going to be the neck, right? So the alignments that I produced right here. So the line of actions I produced with this kind of strokes there, right? The flow, the poses, and then the shoulders. This is basically the alignment for those hips and shoulders to define the pose itself. And then I start to draw the structures over here. Okay? Shoulders, cylinders. Okay, you want to study properly there, okay? You want to study back again. Okay, study based on, okay, this is basically some gesture slide that I produced over here. But I draw a bit more faster there, right? Okay, this is going to be the circle that define this part basically, okay? It's basically triangles. A bit more like a cylinders over here. Circles there, right? Cylinders back again over there. This is going to be those part of those what we call that foot there, right? Same goes to this part, okay? The foot itself. Okay. This one basically the alignments that I will try to produce, okay, based on the cylinders, kneecap circles there. Another cylinders from there, right? So by right, basically what you saw just right now, I try to combine the gestures line for the whole structures here. Right. Now, it's time for us to draw basically those detailing there, right? Using the brush tools, right? Ink brush tools over here, there, right? Okay? I'm using different layers there. Let me save the files there. I can mutate. Article 4G7 there, right? So right now, what I'm going to do over here, there, right? Add another layers. Now I'm going to start a little bit, study more details there, okay? Close the shadows there first. Adjust a bit more on the tone, on the opacities. Now basically I can actually study a bit more better right here, okay? The eyes going to be right here a bit. I can use also contour line drawings there, guys, to work on that, on this kind of exercise over here. Okay, contour line drawing exercise from there. What we call the techniques where you see. You study basically a bit more better on the stroke itself, I guess. So learn to study the movements of the flows of your drawings, guys. Okay, from these lessons, from this kind of exercise that we did, okay, whatever that you're going to draw from now on, I guess, make sure you can benefit your kind of understanding there. Etching, shadings, your anime, manga, whatever style that you want to produce later on, we're going to come over to you there, right? When you start to develop the right kind of skills. You have developed your skills first in the right way there. Okay? See how actually I draw them with these contour line drawings mixed up with the etching line at the same times. So this is a part of those math techniques of drawings that you have to be improved at first. Okay? Improve that first, right? Like I said, this part will not importance there. Okay, for your drawings there. Okay, so I didn't actually write focus, emphasize from there, okay? Because that's basically a sexuality kind of what we call that elements that okay that. But when you draw women, basically the chest part basically had to be defined different than the men there, okay? So basically that's the importance there. Because when you draw animations or cartoons there, right? You don't draw that part, okay? Unless you draw like a animated kind of porn movie lah, but we don't do those kind of things. Okay, so become more realistic what you want to study is over here. So even though I draw a few number kind of strokes like this one, okay, but it's not hesitate, okay. What you did is not that Chen Ren, you draw like this, right?
Yeah.
Like this one there, right? That's basically that you have to change that, the way that you draw it, right? When you want to draw the shape there, right? Okay. Anyway, I remove my hands over here. If you want to draw fast, you can, but try to maintain those kind of strokes there, right? Okay. All these kind of movements, you have to practice a lot there, right? Not Tian Ren, the rest of you guys also there, right? Okay, to work on that. See right here, you want to draw this part there, right? Draw basically the structures well there first. Just now when you draw them, okay, you draw the outline only there. That's why those drawings look not natural there. Look a bit more like you made it up there, right? But all the quality of line were not there. We don't actually saw the quality of line from your drawings here. So that's why it's not that quite very practical for you to use this kind of methods for your kind of what we call that assignments there, because they're going to lose a lot of detailing from there. You don't actually learn something from that kind of drawings at the same time. See, guys, drawing line that I produce right now, they show basically the confidence that when you draw, and add some shadows, a bit more better from there. But this is basically a study drawings there, guys. Okay, drawing study. Okay, if you really want to learn anatomies in different kind of methods there, okay, to work on that. Okay. different kind of methods there. Where is it there? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So from here, you can actually study a bit more further and further because you apply gas test line, structures line, gas test, what we call that constructive line at the same time for one studies here. Because what you guys can actually conclude with this kind of exercise there, we learn to develop our right way to sketch with our drawings. That's basically what we try to do here. Okay? All right. Who's next? Who is this there? Kenrena, you still or anyone else there? Who is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
This one? Okay, guys. Remember, guys, reality is, okay, you have to develop your skills there first. Imaginations kind of drawings can be applied if you have a strong kind of illustration drawing skills there. Any questions? Any questions, any inquiries there? Why don't you open up your webcam there, guys? Everyone, okay, for a while, so I can see you guys' face. All right. So remember, guys, okay, those kind of importance there, okay? Objective of our illustrations of our skills right here is all about to develop your drawing skill first in the right way there, okay? Focus on that first. Because when you start to imagine, you spend a lot of time. How long is it basically you're going to imagine there, okay? You draw 1 day or 2 days, okay, sometimes, right? What I try to train you guys here, you draw 1 drawings 1 day at least. You complete 1 drawings 1 day, and you move on into another drawings there. Move into another drawings there, right? Okay. If you saw basically my demonstration there, okay, I basically work 3 different drawings in 3 sessions there. 3 different drawings in 3 sessions there, okay. Build up that kind of skills there, okay. Even though you can actually build up slowly but efficiently there, okay, to work on that. Like Tian Ren and the rest of you guys, focus on your skills there first. Later on, you want to draw anime manga, you can draw anytime that you want. Don't worry there. Your times is your journey basically is very long, okay? So you cannot complete my 30 years experience with your 7 weeks kind of experience right now. Remember that. How long you learn basically to draw? 7 weeks only there, right? Okay, 7 weeks there, all right? Comparing to almost 30 years that I actually been developed there, okay? But I try to compile everything, not the whole thing, okay? What are the most important things that you have to focus first there, okay? Before you are going to develop a bit more further on your kind of understanding. And of course, if you want to develop that kind of like this kind of what we call that samples, like this one that trying to draw, okay? So why don't you try to draw them at first, okay? I want to see your kind of drawings here. But you can fill up, okay, slowly some of the detail that you want, okay? Like this one, okay, based on the reference that we have. Okay, this came from this guy there, okay? Then I turn over this person, draw the hairline a little bit at the stroke itself, okay? Some people, when they draw the hairline, also they feel hesitated. So how I actually draw the hairline, see? The movement, I share my screen over here? Okay, let me show you guys basically how I draw those hair there, okay? Move my hands according to the structure there, right? Take a look here, guys, okay? When I move my hands. See? Did I hesitate there, right? This one basically the same thing if you want to draw a grass there, right? Grass there, right? See how I draw the grass? Look at the movements of my hands. Look at the movements of my hand. My kind of what we call that cursor there, right? Okay, that flows. Same goes to the line work for those hair. Even though I can draw those grass, okay, the leaves like that. This is the leaf there, right? See the leaves there, the leaves there, right? So learn to control the pressures there, guys. Okay. If you can draw like this, can you draw like this one there, right? Leaves, the shapes using oval, triangle kind of shapes. Try to draw like this.
I think okay.
Can you draw like this one? Show us. Can you control the pressures there? Same goes to you guys, okay? If you want to practice yourself, go ahead. So practice the movements there. The movements that you want to draw from there. Okay, the flows there, right? Oh, who actually this handsome Lengcha there? Shushi there, right? Huh? Your boyfriend, right? All right. Suddenly, right, okay, everyone actually close those kind of webcam, right? Okay, guys, can close them back. Right, Tianren, if you have to continue, right, okay, go ahead, right, okay. Where basically your screen there, Tianren? Share your screen. Try to draw those leaves. I want to see those movements there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guys, how is it there? Okay, try to practice them. Look at it. Okay, send it over those progress in our WhatsApp groups there, guys. Okay, I want to see those kind of flows and movements at the same time there. Even though this week I share with you guys, I demonstrate to you guys how to shadings and shapes using shadows there, right? It doesn't mean that you have to focus on that entirely there. Please work with your drawing skills first. Okay, the strong elements that we produce from here is all about our skills of constructing those lines there, right? How is it there, Tianren? Practice a bit more further on your drawings there, Tianren.
For the line.
Drawing stroke there. Can you draw those leaves that I actually show you just now, okay? Using the right kind of stroke there. I want to see how you move your hands there. The leaves there, right? Not right there, okay, not right there. Doesn't look right there, Tianren. Doesn't look right there.
So like this.
Nope. Right there, you draw the outline there, right? Obviously, you draw the outline, not the shadows there. Can you see the shadow shapes that apply from this hair flows?
I can
Can
see.
you saw the shadows? Right. Okay, use the flows of the shadows to move your hands to draw them back again. The strokes there, right? And try, right. Okay. Yeah, that's right. But don't leave a lot of gap lah. Don't leave a lot of gap, okay? Move your strokes closely to the strokes that get to the shapes there, right? Don't use a lot of gap, okay? Right now you actually paint, you actually draw, and you leave a lot of gap between the shapes of those hair there, right?
Okay.
What brush that you use right now? Soft brushes, Don't use soft brushes.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Drawing brushes that work first.
You
Drawing
use
brushes that I used there before there, right? This one basically we only use for my kind of demonstration that I did. Okay, from that kind of naked poses only there, right? Using the methods that I show you guys before when I draw, don't get confused there. Right now, draw the shadows using these brushes there, right? But right now you draw the outline only there. Press the strokes and release softly. Press and release softly there, right? Get the feel from there. Okay, when you watch my demonstration on YouTube based on our lecture class, you guys can see more clearly how actually I move the cursor for those shadows there. Guys, I want every one of you guys work with this kind of drawings there, okay? And send it over your progress around 2 o'clock. Almost get it right. Almost get it right there, okay? If you want to mix up, okay, your kind of method with those contour line drawings, a bit more better than Tianren. Okay, the rest of the guys also, okay? Always try to mix them up, guys, those techniques. All right, slowly develop that kind of understanding there. Huh? Okay, good there. Okay, I think you will be really more better there, okay, Tianren. You will be get more better. Draw the ears, Tianren, carefully, right? Draw the
Oh,
shapes
okay.
of the ears, the patterns of the ears there, right? Okay, don't just simply draw them there, okay? Carefully sculpt those kind of the shapes for the ears carefully, okay? When you draw them, before you add some shadings from there, erase them back. Yeah, become more better there, okay? But look carefully to those reference when you draw them. all right, and study slowly, okay, while you develop that kind of understanding when you draw based on the reference there, right? Okay. Once you develop the skills, drawing skills the right way, easy for you to learn different techniques. Okay, the problem is right now, okay, when you don't develop the right kind of understanding there, when you don't look things in the right way there, okay, don't draw the nostril too big there, okay, Tianwen, carefully, okay, but look okay there, okay, from here. Okay, from this kind of particular kind of, you start to develop the kind of confidence there, okay?
Okay.
But you have to practice every day there, guys, okay? Every day you have to practice them, okay? You want to be good at what you do, practice every day there, okay? Enjoy the process of working there, right? You miss one day and then you feel lazy, you don't continue another day there, okay? You won't be able to get the right kind of strokes from there. Am I right, okay, Tianwen? We draw women. Women doesn't have any that kind of what we call that the Adam apple there, okay? So careful with it.
Oh,
So
okay.
so always be concerned there, okay? What all this kind of major stuff, okay? Because you look carefully to those pictures, there is no Adam apples there, okay? From her necks, unless you want to draw aqua, lah. Right? Okay, look carefully to the stroke itself when it improve your drawing skill from there. Who actually send it over those grab food there, right?
Hmm?
Anyone actually send it over grab food on your at the
No.
house, at your house there?
No.
No. Jing Jing, do you want to share something there, Jing Jing? All right, Tianwen, okay, when you combine all together those lines, but of course, okay, Tianwen, don't when you draw those strokes of those contour line, don't be scared basically to hold a little bit on your pressure, then you move slowly according to the strokes there, right? Okay. Right now, sometimes okay, I felt that you felt a bit kind of afraid there, okay, because the lines, some of the line a little bit kind of light and soft and fade a little bit there, okay. You can control the pressures at the same time, okay, but improve more on your flows, okay, and control the feel of the pressures while you move your hands. You need to find that kind of coordinations there, right, okay. Let your hands have that kind of natural kind of movements when you draw those kind of structures there. Jing Jing, you want to share something there, Jing Jing, just now? Huh?
I sent it to the WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group only, okay. Share here, screen there, right? So I can see the
Okay.
movements of your hand when you draw them, right? Okay. I will take those kind of look at the WhatsApp later on there, okay?
Okay.
So I need store the presenting firstly.
Yeah, you can actually, okay? But continue to do those work there, okay? What we
Okay.
call that. Then improve your drawings line. When you have the strong drawing line there, guys, Tianwen and the rest of you guys, then you actually add some shadings there more efficiently there, okay? Okay, Jing Jing, what is this, Jing Jing? Okay, I didn't teach you guys to draw those hairline stroke like that. The ears also doesn't look right. Okay, some of the line quite fast and confidence, but when they come to draw the basic structure, the whole kind of presentation here, more like weird a little bit. Okay, what is it inside those ears there? Did you actually put any marbles inside those ears?
No.
No, look like a marble over there. Okay. It's not look like a nose kind of hole there, right?
Okay.
Okay, erase this one, erase those kind of hairline there, right? Okay, it look weird a bit. Okay, just like shapes of those brain there, right? Okay, they actually right cover basically the head. Okay, try not to draw that kind of element like that there. Okay, I didn't teach you guys to work on that first. Don't waste your time to draw something that you don't understand there, right? Okay.
Okay, but this could
Focus on
even
the
help.
focus more on the overall structures, the stroke itself, the whole body. Okay, simplify the shapes of the hair. Okay, don't waste your time to draw the patterns there, because the shapes of the hair, the what we call that, the detail that you want to apply from those hair, they can be covered with those shadings there when you shade them up there. I will show you how actually one of the way that I'm going to use that. I never basically try to draw those kind of subject matters look realistic as the photos there, okay? I never basically, guys. But naturally, those kind of the look and feels become a bit more realistic as I continue to develop my study on the subject matters there. I did not basically plan to draw as realistic that I want to use to be there in that kind of drawings there. Jing Jing, can you actually close the basic structures there first or reduce the opacity? All right, and then focus on your reference. Okay, and redraw back again the strokes there, right? Okay, most of
All
it is looks a bit more like the eyebrows. Why you color the eyebrows like this there, right? I didn't teach you to draw those eyebrows like this. Even though the eyes over here. Am I actually draw those kind of eyes like this one, Jing Jing?
but no.
No? Why you draw like this one? So don't draw like this one there, okay? Redraw back again. I want to see how actually you start to draw back again according to what you've learned from me, not from what you assume that you think is right. Because right now, the whole thing is not right there, okay? You try to assume your drawing skill from there. Okay, start with it. How to draw those eyebrow there, Jing Jing? Control the pressures really well there first. Can you look at how actually I draw those eyebrow from my demonstrations that I did? Have you checked most of my demonstrations that I did before?
If sometimes.
Sometimes there. So what you will have to learn from me there, right? If you just sometimes there watch carefully how actually I draw those kind of eyebrows, the eyes, and all most of those elements there, right? All right. And this is my demo there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Look carefully how I draw those eyebrows, the eyes. I thought I want to share my screen, but you have actually have those kind of sharing your screen away is good. Take a look how I draw them, right? Get the eyebrows over here. See? See? All right. I'm using basically the strokes to develop those kind of eyebrows there. Okay? I work on it. Control the pressure at the same time, right? Okay, Jing Jing? Draw like a woman there, okay? Move your stroke like a woman there. Okay? Because when I actually develop my skill from there, okay? When I draw them, I try to apply my flows of the movements. Okay, something like that can be used also, right? Good. Good, there, right? So you have to feel the strokes when you coordinate with your hands. But look carefully when you draw them. Don't just simply assume the shapes there, right? Look carefully, draw carefully, there, right? Move carefully at the same times, but don't be afraid to make some of the mistakes there. Can you apply the contour line drawings techniques with this kind of exercise at the same with this kind of drawing at the same time there, right, Ying?
Okay.
Right now using brush pencil brushes or ink brushes there, right?
Ink brush.
Okay. Your line quite hesitate there. Okay, control more. They try to control a bit more further there, right? This is not a control line drawings here. You press too much sometimes there, right? But continue them there first. Are you sure you have to draw like that, or okay, the nose? Where do you get those lines from that side?
This one?
Where do you get those kind of line there?
Oh, the shadow.
I did not actually draw like that, okay? You try to develop an invisible kind of strokes there, okay? Without looking at the reference there, Jing. You try to assume the shapes there without looking at the reference there. I didn't draw like that, okay? They make a wrong kind of structures from there. Okay, continue them back again. Don't delete the whole thing. Draw the whole structures of the nose there first. Complete them. Then you can start to develop the line works, the very slight line kind of works for those hair, for those eyes there, right? The way that you should move, basically, also you feel hesitate a bit, okay? Where you're going to start, where you're going to end it up, okay? Why? Because you don't practice a bit more further from there. You don't watch basically how actually I move my hands from there. Even I'm talk a lot there, okay? It doesn't make sense there, okay, for you to remember that. See? Are you sure that the strokes over there form the nose? Because when you apply wrong kind of strokes, they will look weird between those kind of drawings there. Because drawing is not basically a pictures there, okay? You imitate the elements from those reference there, right? But try not to draw a wrong strokes that will define a weird kind of shapes there that define that kind of nose there, right? Obviously, the strokes of the nose you can see from here. You don't have to assume them, right? Okay? Move them back, right? Okay? Draw the whole strokes of the nose there, right? You still draw the same thing there, right? Okay? I told you just now it's wrong already that you actually keep doing the same thing, right? Okay? Start to draw them back, right? Okay? Then work on that. Continue with the kind of shadows there. Follow the shadows line. You didn't have to draw the shadows a little bit more hard from there. Just draw the soft kind of line there, right? Okay, Jing. Soft kind of line there, right? Soft kind of line. Control your strokes right there, okay? You don't have to repeat all the line all together all the time there, right? Huh? Okay. So the line works not right. The line work doesn't look right there, Jing there. Huh? It look weird with the nose there, shapes like that. That's why you need to practice this exercise a bit more, okay? More frequently there, okay? For your assignments there, for these projects. Okay, Jing, practice your kind of contour line drawings. Take a look how actually I draw some of the elements. From my demonstrations, you follow them back. Okay?
Okay.
Right. I want to see that kind of drawings there because you need an extra exercise on yourself to develop these particular kind of skills. Don't try to imagine something that you don't understand. Okay? Draw basically from reference. Don't imagine yourself there. Okay?
Okay.
Don't imagine something that you don't understand there, right?
更好的检查下就可以
What is
交
that,
代一些
Jing?
感受了。
You translate back again what I'm saying there.
Yeah, no. My brother is also online classes now.
I thought basically using some translations there, okay?
Oh no.
I thought in English and then become and you actually translate into Mandarin or Chinese there, right? All right, Jing, remember that, okay? You have basically some intensive kind of what we call that issues over here that you have to overcome that, right? Okay, it's not that hard, that Jing. If you trust yourself to move in the right way there, right? Okay, you just need to look carefully and then move according to your kind of reference. Don't imagine them. All right, don't imagine them there, right? All of you guys also who have that kind of problems, be patient, learn back again to improve your skills over here. See, you still draw the same thing, okay, but it's okay. Continue them first, right? And then move another drawings and practice more further from there. Try to solve some of the problems, okay? We don't draw the shadows from the side there, okay? Only this side only we draw. All right? If you draw this side, okay, you're going to look a bit more weird there, okay, on this drawing itself there, okay? When you draw the eyes, press a little bit more further on the strokes, right? And then you actually continue to draw those kind of elements all together there. Look carefully how the shapes of the eyes are going to be formed there, right? Okay? Because everything is in front of you. Everything is in front of you, guys.
OK， 这点可以。宇宙，我看到你交上来的只有交到一张罢了，你是不是
Are you
后
sure
面
the
的
eyes look like that? The
没有交到？
pupil look like that?
我只看到你的
Pupil
尽量
doesn't look like that, okay? The eyes also shaped wrong already there, okay? Look
对，
carefully
看
there.
模雕这里看什么时候没有看到，
嗯
就是没有交到。
I had that kind of tutorial that I actually include in my demonstrations, okay? Last Monday there,
可以
okay?
在上面做啊。
All right. Anyone else there have any problems there? You guys can see some of the difficulty that we have there, right? If you have this kind of same difficulty there, guys, okay, go back in. Always go through with your traditional kind of methods that you work. Okay, let me show you guys some of the
然后
things
叶玲这边交
that
上
just
来了，
now.
你的那个照片可以拍整张那个你的纸嘛？
Okay, this
等
one
下
there,
拍
right?
到别人。
Jing, can you close your microphones?
Oh, okay.
可以把整张纸拍下来完。
All right. Okay, look carefully to my samples over here. Okay, take a look there, right? How I draw those nodes there, changing. Each one of you guys there, using the contour line drawings, study them back. Because in drawings, if you apply wrong kind of strokes there, okay, for example, you draw like this, they become weird already there. Or you draw like this, they become weird already there. Or draw like this, become weird already there, right? Huh? If you want to redraw them, sometimes you just can move slow, move basically slightly there on that. Same goes to this part. See, when I draw them, slowly move them, okay, and look into those reference back again while you draw. All right. Any question there, guys? Complete these kind of 6 drawings based from the method that I showed you guys just now. Okay, and you can look also for my demonstration at the same time that works on that, and my samples of works there, right? Okay, if you don't have that kind of ability to basically go into what we call that imagine, what I do right now, okay, but it's based on the same kind of models. I just add a few number kind of elements on, not too much there, but I'm using different kind of stroke this time there, right? I'm using different kind of strokes there this time. I didn't change a lot, okay? I'm using very strong kind of strokes there, okay? For this, basically for this, what we call that design there, okay? So you can comparing those kind of strokes at the same time there, guys, to work today. And of course, it takes time there. All this kind of Development takes time, okay? So be patient while you develop those kind of skills. Okay? Any questions? Any kind of inquiries there? Please let me know in our basically, right? Okay, same here, okay, like Brandon's, some of you guys there, okay? So remember, okay, if you don't actually ready enough to imagine those kind of elements, don't try hard there, right? Focus on your main objective all the times and be patient to work on that. Okay? So see you guys, okay, on the next sessions. And hopefully you guys, okay, can basically improve more and more further on your understanding, okay? Because illustrations need a lot of practice. You need a lot of practice there, especially to get used with the tools itself there, right? Okay? So it's really there, guys, okay? So be patient at the same times and develop the skill from time to times. And take care, you guys, and have a good day, have a good evening. Okay, and see you guys next sessions next week. All right, please submit on time there, okay? And of course, what we call that, on top of that, I really want to see your improvement on your drawing strokes there first. The shadings that we apply were not that quite hard there, okay? If you take a look right now, okay, when I actually shades them out there, okay, even though this kind of drawings there, okay, this kind of illustrations there, what make these drawings look fine? Not because of those shadings there. See the shadings there, right? The shadings very soft there, okay? There's nothing much basically comparing to the drawing line there, okay? Without the drawing line, okay, the shadings is nothing there, right? Okay? But the drawing lines make the strokes look a bit more better and a bit naturally become a bit more realistic. But I didn't actually focus on that, guys. Really there, right? I'm focusing on the strokes itself to develop the right kind of understanding to move my hands when I draw them. And naturally, they become more realistic there, based on our kind of developments there. Change the mindset there, right? Psychologically there, right? Because if you focus on the realistics, you won't be able to get it if you don't have the skills there. But you develop the skills, focus on the skills, you can develop that kind of realistic kind of look and feel of your drawings slowly, naturally there. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Take a rest a bit there, guys. Okay? And what we call that. And keep on practicing. Bye-bye.
Yes,
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.